Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to today's Monday Q&A. I hope that you are having the best weekend so far. I hope that you are thriving when you are catching this through here. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, whenever it is that you are catching this live. I am pumped to go live with y'all today because you guys sent me some questions that you had, and I am going to be answering those questions. So we are live in a couple of places. In the event that I get disconnected here on IG, know that you can find me on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. Okay. So over the weekend, I shared our Ask Susanna kind of questions, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions. You have some really good ones. And so I want to be able to answer those questions for you today. My team is also on our live. So hey, fam bam. Hey. Our word of the day is going to be Texas. So as you are coming into the room, let me know where you are joining me from. So if this is your first time, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat and let me know where you are joining me from. But if this is not your first time and you are not new to this, but you are true to this, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat. Okay. So if this is your first time, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat and tell me where you are joining me from. If this is not your first time, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat and tell me where you are joining me from. And if you are catching this on the replay, just comment #replay and let me know that you were here, my love. I want to be able to celebrate that you were here. So hey, Baton Rouge. Hey, Czech Republic. Hey, Nigeria. Hey, welcome. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start getting into the questions that y'all asked. On LinkedIn, we have folks that are joining us from Tampa, Florida. Hey, Fran. Grand Rapids, Michigan is also in the building. So I am looking forward to connecting with y'all over the next few minutes. So let's get right into it. The very first question that came in was, I promise you, this is the first question. So the first question that came in was, I'm looking for information about the upcoming in-person event in Texas. Where can I get the dates and all that other jazz? Okay. So for the person who asked this questions surrounding our in-person event, it is going to be taking place on March 20th and 21st in Dallas, Texas. And if you are joining this, you can comment the word Texas, either TEXAS or TX. And Susanna the bot will send you the information so that you can check it out. Okay. So if you want to join us in person, know that you have that opportunity by just commenting the word Texas on this live. And Susanna the bot on IG, if you comment the word Texas, Susanna the bot will send you the information for you to be able to join us. Okay. Next question is, hello, I hope this message finds you well. I am seeking employment. But I've been unemployed for some time and I feel nervous about exploring my options. Do you have any recommendations? So for those of you who are in a point where you have been unemployed for some time, there's a couple things that I want you to remember. And the first thing that I want you to remember is you are hireable. Okay? You are hireable. So just because you've been unemployed for some time does not mean that you are broken, does not mean that you can't be hired, does not mean that you are not good. This also goes for my folks who have recently been laid off of a job or have been put on unpaid leave. You are still hireable. What we want to focus on over these next couple of weeks as you are looking for new employment is that I want you to think through, what are your transferable skills? What are the skills that you have acquired over your career history, not just the last couple of years, but over your career history that you can leverage and start to make a case for yourself as the incredible individual that you are. Okay. So I want you to think through that because you're probably playing small, which is one of the things that we'll be addressing in Texas as it relates to like self-sabotage. Some of the things that come naturally to you ladies you've been playing like, oh, but I think everybody thinks like that. Or I think that everybody has the opportunity or the capability to do X, Y, and Z, when in fact, they don't. You are so good at what you do that it comes to you so naturally that you go on autopilot. Whereas if it were me, I probably would be on the struggle bus ASAP Rocky. So I want you to think through what are your skill sets that you perhaps have not spent time paying attention to and start listing those things out. Okay. Start listing those things out. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to is where am I going to get the highest ROI? Now, listen, um, this is going to piss off some people. This is going to piss off some people because I am going to hopefully break off a myth that a lot of women have been sold. Okay. That a lot of women have been sold. So if you're ready, I want you to type ready in the chat because I am about to say something that for some of y'all are going to be like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I didn't think about that. So here's what I want you to understand. A lot of people will tell you just follow your passions. Just like follow your heart. Just, whatever you feel comes naturally to you, just follow those things. And while there is some truth to that, I want you to be very aware of the fact that following your heart or following your passion can get you into trouble. Okay? Susanna, why do you say that? The reason that I say that is because if I were to have followed my passions, I would have been a whole lot of things in a whole lot of places that would have had zero ROI. And for those of you who are not sure what ROI stands for, it's return on investment. Okay. So when I tell you, do not necessarily feel like you need to follow your passions. Okay. Be very aware of what I am trying to tell you. If it were up to Susanna, Susanna is passionate about a lot of things. Okay. I'm passionate about making sure that women are represented well in the workplace. I'm passionate about travel. I'm passionate about food. Food is my love language. I'm passionate about making sure that my son is well taken care of and that I'm show up in my family. I'm passionate about all of those things. But here's a couple things that I know to be true. While I may be passionate about food, I am not a chef. So the return on investment for me is probably not going to be all that great. I know how to cook, but is it something that I can say I am going to go to apply to be a cook? Probably not going to be my best bet. Okay. Other things that I was passionate about travel. So much so that I went for a interview for a flight attendant position. And then I came to the quick realization that flight attendants is not as glamorous as it is portrayed to be. Have you seen where some of our flight attendants have to sit or sleep on long flights? That I am not about that life. That's just not the reality for Susanna. Also, I am tall. Okay. So in some places and spaces, it's a challenge for me to fit in. But what I knew to be true about Susanna was that success leaves clues. I have always been a public speaker since I was 5. I have always had the opportunity and the ability to build relationships and see things from a different perspective. I have always been able to speak to a group of women or a group of people and make them feel encouraged and supported and give them practical, easy to follow steps. So when I think about following my passions, I had to identify where was there a need and where would I be in alignment. So I need you to pay attention when people are telling you follow your passions, follow your heart. They're probably coming from a very good place and we respect them for that. But in this world, especially in the United States, you need to also be able to follow the money. Okay? You need to be able to follow where you are going to make the most impact. The reason why I support y'all the way that I do is because after almost 2 decades of serving in leadership and hiring and all those other jazz, now I can pursue an aspect of my heart that I am truly passionate about, which is to make sure that you show up unapologetically. So if you are in a season where you are unemployed and you're trying to find where you fit in and how you fit in, baby, take inventory of what are your transferable skills, what are the technical skills that you have been able to acquire, and where is there a need and how you can plug yourself there. Get the market is saturated, they're never going to hire me, I have a gap on my resume. Get all of those thoughts out of your head. That's another thing that we're going to be talking about when we head to Texas, is the amount of self-sabotage that you do. So some of y'all won't even apply to a position based off of its title or based off of its salary, and you are already doing the work. Somebody make that make sense. Okay, so I can't break that down too much on our live because I'm still kind of doing the research on that. But if you are in a season where you are unemployed and you're looking for a new opportunity, identify what are your transferable skills, where is there a need in the market, and how you can be in alignment. Okay. And the other thing for my more seasoned professionals, we recently had one of our clients. She was in, I'm going to say she was in her 60s. Um, she was in her 60s, and she came to us with the limiting belief that because she was older, because she was in her 60s, nobody was going to hire her. We proved that wrong real quick. And she was able to not only get employed, but land her first six-figure role in like, and not just like a little bit of six figures, because let's be 1000% real and transparent. In this economy in the United States, and a 100K salary really is like 70 grand after they take out all the taxes and things. Okay. So when we're talking about getting you to six figures, we're talking about like, we want to make sure your take home pay meets that type of caliber. So when we were working with her, she had, again, oodles and years of experience. And she felt the need, like she had to put everything on her resume when not everything is necessary. You just have to be able to position yourself as an authority. So for those of you who are more seasoned and you feel like your age is holding you back, baby, that's stuff that we got to work through in here, because it is possible for you. If it was possible for our client, Miss Mobley, it's definitely possible for you. All right. So next question is, after being at my job for 10 years, I feel like I need to bring my boss's attention the accomplishments that I have achieved in order to get a raise. And I have never had to do this. I've always been promoted and given raises without asking in past years of employment. Where do I start and what do I say? So I'm going to say something again that I look at this from a very different perspective. You should always be sharing or keeping track of what are your accomplishments, what are the things that you have been able to do. And there's a difference between boasting and there's a difference between boasting and making people aware. Boasting and making people aware. If you are not tracking your work and you don't have an evidence list, I'm going to seriously encourage you to head over to the Dunamis website and grab the evidence tracker, the task tracker that is on the site. It is completely free, and you can start doing that today. Because if you're like our friend who is looking to share her accomplishments with her boss over the last 10 years, that's going to feel very overwhelming. Okay, that's going to feel like, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. You need to start tracking that information. Our clients responding to emails and asking for only to work with you because you give them the best level of customer service, you need to track that. Were you able to secure a new deal, or you were able to build a new key relationship that has led to some type of growth within the department, within the organization, within the region? You need to track that. Have you been able to complete a certain level of tasks that are now at the higher end of your capacity, and you want to move into that? You need to track that. So I'm going to drop if you go to my bio and you click on the links that are there, you'll be taken right to our resources page. And on the resources page is the task tracker. Okay. So if you go to dunamiscareercoaching.com, which is right on my bio, if you're watching me, actually, if you're watching me anywhere, if you're watching me on IG or YouTube or on LinkedIn, just go to my website, go to the resources page and go right to the tracker. Download it, you get it for free. And on top of that, you get a whole free masterclass from me. But anyway, to our friend who is asking this question, where do I start? Start tracking your work. And number two, start to build your fan base. Okay, so let's talk about this because this is another thing that we're going to talk about in Texas. You need to have, hear me, please. If you're with me, I want you to type, I hear you. If you're with me, I want you to type, I hear you. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to be new for some of y'all, but for some of y'all, it's going to be like, oh, I have to do this. But if you're with me, I want you to type, I hear you. Because, baby, well, okay, y'all, all right, y'all hear me. You need a personal board of directors. Somebody said it in Spanish, just in case I was missing it. Te oigo. Así mismo. Así mismo. You need a personal board of directors. Now, listen, all of you at some point or another are familiar with a board of directors at any organization. It's the type of people who are kind of on the outside looking in, but they have influence over some of the decisions that are made at said organization, right? So you need to pay attention to who is on your board of directors, because if you're the smartest one in your friend group, and you find yourself that you are on the struggle bus and everybody else is on the struggle bus, may I submit to you that the people that you have surrounded yourself with are probably going to need a little bit of a refresh. Because when you have an ideal board of directors, and in Texas, I'm going to teach you how to do all of that. When you have a board of directors, they can speak your name in rooms filled with opportunity. Because a lot of the positions that y'all see on some of these job boards, baby, let me tell you, a lot of these positions, especially now, if you are in the United States, they already have somebody in mind. But by law, we need to put the position up so that we can have people apply. And so when you are building your personal board of directors, it cannot be just a bunch of people that you feel comfortable with and they're all your friends. Let me give you some insight here. My personal board of directors, when I was in a different season in my career, I had 3 members on my personal board of directors prior to launching this practice. Prior to launching this consultancy, prior to launching this agency, there were 3. The 3 of them did not know each other. And the 3 of them were located in different areas. I had one in Texas, I had one in Manhattan, and I had another one that was local to me. And whenever I was at a juncture where I was looking for a new opportunity or I needed some just advice on what to do next, I would run it through all 3 of those members of my board of directors. And then I would gauge what were the common themes that I was hearing. The reason why I did not want them all to know each other is because I wanted to make sure that if I was hearing a constant theme from 3 different people who did not know each other, then I knew Susanna needed to work on some things. Is this making sense? So if you're understanding the power of a board of directors, I want you to say, I got it. Type I got it in the chat, because this is how in the case of our friend who is trying to bring attention to the accomplishments that she has, your board of directors can start to infiltrate or start to share perspective from how you can start to share your accomplishments. But this is the lie that many women, especially women of color, my melanated sisters, please come to the front of the line. The lie that we have been told is that we can do it all by ourselves. And so we feel the need to rescue and to have to do it all by ourselves, as if there is some reward for you burning yourself out. I need you in this season to take off the cape and to adopt the mentality of rest over rescue, because too many of us are busy out here trying to rescue everybody and their mama. And we said we were going to rest. But if you are not intentional about your rest season, you will find yourself in a place where you are more tired and more exhausted than when you first started. Again, another reason why you need a personal board of directors. Because what happens is, if you're not careful, then we go to the extreme. Oh, I'm going to go into my soft girl era. How many of y'all have heard that terminology? I'm going into my soft girl era. And I'm going to come for your throat right here. And I'm doing it with as much love as possible. Like, I'm telling you, if you need this kind of support, you want to join us in Texas, because we are going to be giving you the real tea when it comes to that. Because in certain spaces and places, and to be honest with you, I don't have enough time to break it all down on a single live. So if you want more information on how to join us in Texas, just comment the word Texas or type in TX, and Susanna the bot will send you the information. On IG, you want to comment Texas or TX, and Susanna the bot will send you the information. On Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, I am going to drop the information for y'all. So like that, if you want to join us, you know what to do and where to go and how much it's going to cost and all the things. But registration is open and we have a limited amount of people that we can take. And baby, what I'm about to tell you right now, you're going to want to need it. The reason why, for some of us, we start new opportunities and we start new ventures, and then in a little while, we like moments into it, we feel so tired and overwhelmed, is because we have not healed properly. Ooh, I'm coming for some of y'all. And so we go into this soft girl era and we believe that if I just don't do anything, then eventually I'll feel better. And the truth is that you're not wired to not do anything. You will eventually find yourself needing or desiring to do something. And I need you to channel that energy so like that you can be mindful of what your rest season looks like. For those of you who are faith-based, who are believers, Christians, and you understand the verse to be still and know that I am God, let me let you in on a little secret. Being still does not mean being lazy. Being still does not mean being lazy. It means that you are leveraging your discernment. It means that you are paying attention. And it means that you are operating in alignment with who you were created to be. So for those of you who, when you get on a consultation with me and you start to tell me or my team, oh, I need to pray about it, sometimes you already have the response. And what you are afraid of is to take action. I told y'all I was coming for your throat. So I say all of that to say that I want you to be mindful of how you are letting folks infiltrate or influence, not infiltrate, but influence how you are making decisions. Should you be tracking your work? Without question, absolutely. But you need another set of voices that have wisdom, that have access, and that have influence, so like that you can make decisions based off of wisdom and not your emotion. Women, we are emotional beings. And sometimes our emotions and our feelings will get the best of us. And what I'm trying to tell you is, it's not that I don't want you to pay attention to your emotions and your feelings. You were created with those for a reason. What I'm trying to tell you is not to make decisions based off of said emotions and feelings. You need to have wise counsel? So I'm going to leave that at that. And I hope to God that I answered that question because I feel like I just took y'all to career church. Okay. So if you are trying to figure out, like, how do I label out my accomplishments? Where do I start? Start keeping track of what are your transferable skills. Start paying attention to what have been the common themes that people have said about you. Okay. And be very mindful of how you are listing your accomplishments. Don't just list them over a short, like a specific period. I want you to think from a high level. What are the things that I have been able to accomplish throughout my career? Okay. All right. Next question is, I am 61 years young and I have an MSN in nursing administration. Yes, I recently left a leadership role that I was in for 20 years. I need a job, but my confidence is low and I don't want to settle for a job that doesn't utilize my experience. I wonder if you have any content or advice for a job seeker that is older, that is in the older generation. Number one, your age, my love, should not be the only thing that you lead with. You are prime time. So one of the things that I encourage my again, more seasoned professionals, when you are going for an interview and when you are looking for another opportunity, is understand, like, one of the questions that you should be asking is, how does the organization value the wealth transfer of knowledge? How does the organization value that transfer of knowledge? And the reason that that becomes so powerful is because one of the very real things that happens in the job market is that there is always going to be more money for new hires. Okay. And I know that y'all don't like when I say that. So you've been working at your organization and you've been there forever, and you found out that a new hire is making more money than you. Honey, there will always be more money for new hires. It's the reason why I encourage folks never to take themselves completely out of the job market. And if you can, you should be looking for a new opportunity where you can move up or you can graduate every 3 to 5 years. Now, every time I say that, people are like, girl, I can't do that. I can. I promise you, you can. But if you are looking for another leadership role and your confidence is low, you need to take inventory of what you have been able to do so far. Okay. You need to be able to take inventory of what you've been able to do so far. This is why I want you tracking your work, because the data doesn't lie. You have over 20 years of experience. I'm pretty sure that the person that you are now is significantly different and significantly wiser than who you were 20 years ago. So start listing out, what are some of the areas that you've grown? What are some of the areas where you've seen change? And how were you able to impart the knowledge that you have to the team that you were leading before? Okay. So I would start, like, some of these things are very practical. And I think one of the biggest mishaps that I see with career seekers or job seekers is that you want a quick fix, because we live in a microwave generation. So you want everything real fast, and we bypass some of the necessary steps, and then we wonder why we end up in roles and we're frustrated. And alignment is so much a part of that. So if you are if you are a career seeker, whether you are employed, gainfully employed, you're looking to make a switch, or you're out of work right now, I need you to start with practicality. And with practicality, I want you to pay attention to, what is my skill set? What are the technical skills that I have? And what are the soft skills that I have? And then I want you to pay attention to, what is the ROI? What is the market telling me right now that is happening that I can leverage the skill set that I have? Now, one of the things that our team has put together is let me see if I can show you very quickly before we keep going. If I can't show you, then you'll just have to rock with your girl for a little bit. But one of the things that I have put together, along with the guidance of our team, is understanding, like, what are the power keywords and the difference between a technical skill and a soft skill. And that is something that we're going to be making available here very quickly. So if I'm gonna stop right here and I'm gonna share this with you very quickly. Pay attention to my stories over the next 24 hours, because over the next 24 hours, a lot of you have been asking for a few things. You've been asking me to review your resume. You've been asking me about the event for Texas, and you've been asking me to give you kind of like what my feedback is on a variety of things. In my stories today, I am going to be dropping two things for career seekers, because the best thing that I can tell you is to book a consultation with our team. And they're on the live right now. Because if you want us to go in depth into your resume and give you some actual tangible steps, the career consultation is going to be for you. And all of this is on our website. Okay. That's going to be for you. But if you're at a place where you're like, Susanna, I just don't have the funds to be able to meet with one of the career strategists or with you, we are going to be dropping two things in my stories today. One of them is going to, and both of them are DIY, because a lot of y'all are like, I love you, but I can't afford you, and all these other things. So we're going to be dropping two DIY options in my stories. So please pay attention to those things. The first thing that we're going to be dropping is a cover letter and a resume template that's already been approved and has our touch and our finesse. Okay. And that's going to be in my stories. So please make sure that you're paying attention to that. So in my stories, I'm going to be dropping a template that's going to be a cover letter and a resume template that you can leverage and you can use. If you've attended any of our resume boot camps, it's that resume and cover letter that I give you during the resume boot camp is what I'm going to be giving you. In my stories. The second thing that I'm going to be giving y'all is, if you want more than just a template and you kind of like want to be coached through what to do, where do I put what, how do I update my bullet points, what do I look for, and you want like behind the scenes of that, I'm going to be dropping a mini course. Again, all of this is going to be in my stories. I'm going to be dropping a mini course for you where it is a resume bootcamp. I'm going to give you the resume templates, but in that mini course, I'm also going to be breaking down three types of resumes. I'm going to be breaking down one for more seasoned professionals. I'm going to be breaking down a resume, or you'll be getting access to a resume for my recent grads. Okay. So for those of you who are fresh out of college and you're like, girl, ain't nobody tell me it was going to be like this upon graduation. I got you, baby. I got you. That's also going to be in the mini course. And then in the mini course, you're also going to get a federal resume template for those of you who want to go for federal positions. That's going to be a part of the mini course. So understand the difference between the two things that are going to be in my stories. You're going to get one resume template and a cover letter. That's one option. And then the other one is going to be a more specific kind of breakdown, and you'll hear me review people's resumes in real time. Okay. So I'm going to have resumes that you can take a look at and be like, oh, my resume kind of looks like that. That makes a lot of sense. And then I'm going to give you the templates for my recent grads, for my experienced professionals, and a federal one if you want to leverage that. The other thing that's going to be in that mini course is the breakdown of the power keywords and a checklist for you. So I'm going to give you an example because I say soft skills and people are like, I don't know what that means, Susanna. I got you. So let's use, let me see. Okay, so let's use project management because everybody wants to be a project manager. Okay. Let's use project management. Your technical skills is going to be project planning, risk management, resource allocation, those kinds of things, right? Your soft skills are going to be team leadership, stakeholder management, change management, strategic planning. Those two things combined, that's the type of language that you need to leverage on your resume. Okay. On top of paying attention to what are the things that they're asking for on the actual job description. Okay. So the mini course is going to include me teaching the resume bootcamp, what to expect, what to take off, how to pay attention to bias, what areas on your resume will lead to bias that you need to be paying attention to. And then it's going to have all of these resources because we want to be able to serve you well, but there's a lot of you. There's almost 1 million of you on IG. There's another 50,000 of you on Facebook. There's another like 3,500 of y'all on LinkedIn. And like there's 4 of us on our team. 4. So in order for us to be able to serve you and to serve you well, especially if you are in the DIY type of world, we've created these resources for you. So please pay attention to my stories because that is where I'm going to be dropping that information. Okay. Thank you for the love of my glasses. Yes. I was trying to be festive today. Okay, so I hope that this is helpful for y'all. And I hope that I was able to answer your questions. I hope that this is helpful for you. So again, if you are in the United States and you're like, I need 2 days of teaching me, of supporting me, of engaging with Susanna, know that we're going to have the career boot camp in person, and that's going to be in Texas. So if you comment the word Texas on this live on IG, or on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, Susanna the bot will send you the details. Registration for the Texas event is open, and we're keeping the group intimate. So if you know that this is something that you want to participate in, please pay attention to that link. If you comment Texas on IG, Susanna the bot will send you all of the information for you to be able to register. We are going to have a ball. We are going to have a ball in Texas. It really is going to be good. One of the reasons that I believe in doing in-person events, and I'm going to keep it funky with y'all. The reason that I believe in doing in-person events is because I remember a season where I would go to conferences and attend some of these things. And there were a couple things that I would pay attention to. Number one, a lot of the speakers, and this is no shade, but a lot of the speakers were white men that were giving really good information, but it wasn't necessarily like I couldn't identify with them or I couldn't relate to their stories. Their lived experiences in the workplace looked significantly different than my lived experience. And that was really hard for me. The other thing that I found to be true was that I always felt like I needed to be on. Does anybody ever feel like that? Like when you go to some of these events, you feel like you have to be on, like you always have to be smiling, you always have to be like chipper. And the truth is, y'all, I am born and raised in the Bronx. And there's a level of processing that happens to Susanna's face that will probably make you feel like I'm upset, but I'm really not. I'm just processing the information that I've received, and that would make some people really uncomfortable. So the space in Texas, really, it's almost like our virtual hug to you, but also my hope is in creating an atmosphere where you're okay to fall apart, where you're okay to be vulnerable. But when you walk away from that event, you walk away with a plan, you walk away feeling supported, and you walk away like the change agent that I know that many of you are. And that is really my heart's desire in prayer in all that I do. That you would feel like once you've attended one of our events, it's like, okay, it's not as hard as I've made it to be in my head. And secondly, I'm not the only one that's going through this. Because again, the lie that we have been sold is that it's only affecting you. Or that you can't tell anybody because you always have to have it together. You always have to like be put together. And there's been a lot of healing that has had to happen for Briscoe-Alba in order for me to get to this place where I can share this with y'all. Because I can remember many instances where I had to edit the version that was showing up because I was labeled as, I'm too much, or I'm doing too much, or it's all these things except the truth of what it is. So I cannot wait to meet y'all in Texas. I cannot wait to high five you. I cannot wait for you to meet our speakers. Oh my gosh, our speakers are incredible women. It's just, it's going to be a time. Okay. So make sure that that you are there. Now, I want to be again respectful of time. Thank you so much for submitting your questions ahead of time. Thank you so much for those of you who have joined and have been a part of our conversation. We have been rocking for a little bit of time, but I thank you. I thank you. I thank you that that you were here. Some of you, a couple things. There will not be a virtual option for the Texas event. There won't. I'm not there yet, y'all. I know it looks like I am, but I'm not there yet. Not there yet. Where a virtual experience that is going to be transformational and powerful. Um, so know that it's something that we are definitely considering, but there will not be a virtual option for the event in Texas. It's going to be in person. But here's the good news for those of you who are like, man, I can't make it to Texas. We plan on doing these regionally. The first one is going to be in Texas, but some of the places that as a team we are considering visiting and bringing this type of program to you. Some of the states that we are considering is California. We're considering the DMV area. So what is that? The DMV area, right? Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. We're considering that area coming to y'all. North Carolina has been another area where folks have been asking for us to come. What's the other one, y'all? Team, help me. What's the other one that folks have been asking us to come? Oh, the like New Jersey, Philly area is another area that folks have asked us to come. And Florida. Florida is another one that folks have asked us to come. We are going to be starting in Dallas, Texas. Oh, and oh my goodness, ATL. Listen, I love y'all. ATL, y'all are like, Susanna, if you don't come out here, we gonna fight. So we are considering some of those areas. We want to make sure. Okay, thank you, Delilah. New Jersey, Florida, California, the DMV area, North Carolina, and ATL. Like those are some of the places that folks have been asking us to come. But if you're in the Dallas, Texas area and you want to come in to be with us, we're taking just a few people for this first event. The place where we're going to be is not far from the airport. So if you want to fly in, I believe the hotel is about 30 minutes away from the airport. I'm telling you, just if you comment Texas, Susanna the bot will send you the information for at least you can see what you can get. We want to meet you. We want to be able to serve you well. But we also want to make sure that we are mindful of where we are so like that you guys can get to us. So come join us in Texas if you can. But for those of you who cannot join us in Texas, please know that yes, we are considering other areas that we are going to be doing this type of career boot camp to help you and to serve you in person, and really just to create a community. That's really what we're after, is to create community because you're going to need it. and not just because you're going to need it, I also need it too. And I want to be surrounded by other incredible, powerful, wonderful women. So we're going to be in Dallas, March 20th and 21st. And that is where we're going to be. We're going to be at the Sandman Hotel. There's already a room block for our group. So make sure that if you're sure and you want to come, there's two levels for you to be able to join us. There's the friend level and then there's the bestie level. Yes. And at the bestie level, we break bread together. It's going to be so good. So if you're down and you want to come and join us, please comment Texas. And Susanna the bot will send you all of the information on registration, on pricing, on what to expect. If you've made it this far to the video and you're like, this is all good and well, but I can't afford to go to Texas, I need just some DIY help, pay attention to my stories on IG, because today we will be dropping a resume and cover letter template that you will be able to leverage. And we'll also be dropping access to the mini course. where it's me teaching. And I'm also going to be giving you several other goodies like the checklist, the Power Words checklist, the federal resume template. Like it's just going to be filled with a whole bunch of things that you can use practically. Okay. Um, I'm sorry, this just reading a quick question. Yeah, so this question is just because it's top of mind, and I'm probably gonna go do a whole live on how I think this recent change on DEI is going to impact the application process. I have a lot of thoughts on it. And the reason why I haven't spoken on it yet is because I want to be able to have my thoughts in order. So, like that, again, I'm very mindful of how I bring to you information. I want to continue to do my research um, to be able to support you, but trust and believe that I have thoughts. um, Trust and believe that I have thoughts. I have a lot of them, and I won't be able to kind of break all of them in this single live because we're already at an hour. So I may do a separate live just addressing that, things that you need to be aware of as a job seeker. Um, and really what my personal thoughts are surrounding DEI, who it benefits, and how you can prepare yourself. So I'll leave you with that little bit of a teaser because you can bet your bottom dollar Susanna Alba has some thoughts surrounding DEI, especially just with my background in education and what that looked like. Ooh, baby. Ooh, so many things to say. But I want to make sure that they are rooted in data, and I want to make sure that I can give you practical steps so that you can prepare. So I hope, Beth, that kind of gives you a little bit of insight into where I'm at. Um, but pay attention to just pay attention to the Susanna Alba world, because I'm probably going to go live to address what I think on DEI. And you may want to take notes, is all I'm saying. But I love y'all. Thank you so much for rocking with me today. To the many of you who have joined us. For those of you who are considering to join us in Texas, I cannot wait to just be in community with you, to pour into you, for you to meet our speakers over the next couple of weeks. You'll see me drop more information on who our speakers are, what are some of our themes that we're going to be touching on. But it's going to be 2 days of just making sure that you will be equipped. Will you consider a live solely on higher education? Ooh, y'all want my higher ed thoughts? Ah, honey, I would. I would I would consider doing a live just on higher education. Um so let me write this down, okay? Because y'all are dropping some themes and I wasn't ready. All right. So uh thoughts on DEI and higher ed live. Now listen, you saw me write it down. Okay. I will keep y'all posted. But yes, join us in Texas. We'll be in Texas March 20th and 21st in person for our career boot camp. We are going to be talking all things about self-sabotage, how to build your board of directors, what it looks like to dominate and have executive presence. And then at our Texas event, my goal is that at our Texas event, we will share where we will be traveling to next. So I love y'all. I've said it a million times in very Caribbean form. We don't know how to say goodbye once. So I will let y'all go. Comment the word Texas on this live if you're interested in joining us in Texas. And Susanna the bot will send you information. I will save this live. Have the most amazing rest of your day and the most amazing rest of your week. And y'all go be great. I'll stay in touch and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one.